Good afternoon, young men and women. I hope you're doing well. Let me turn our music off. I'm glad you're with us today.
Hello, everybody.
Let us
Good to
know
see you.
if you're hearing and seeing us clearly. And welcome, 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 welcome. And I hope you got our announcements that I made. And I'll do it again sometime during the broadcast today. Let's see who's here. Let's see who's here. Who Renee and brother-in-law, or my sister and my brother-in-law, or
Renee and my brother.
Renee and my sister and my brother-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
The first one's here. And good to have you guys. Hope you had a good day. Hey, James Dixon, Joe Crawford. There's KK, and there's Deborah Rondo. I've been thinking about you, Deb. I hadn't seen you on here, girl. I know you probably on here. You just hadn't said nothing. And there's Vincent from California. Hey, Vincent. And then there's Linda Langdon, all the way from Washington State. Norman's down there in South Carolina. How you doing, Pastor Norman? And there's Dee Dee and George coming in. And then there's Vern. I hope that meal was good that Trina cooked for you, Vern. I got to get on her case. She's been promising to cook for us for the longest. And you beat us to it. Hey, Pat. I'm glad you're here, sweetheart. Hope you're feeling well. Jill, hope you had a good day today, sweetie. And Brother Kessler, I'm glad you're here tonight.
All of you sound good.
Yeah, let us know. She said they can hear and see us.
Good.
And see us. Yeah.
I can see and hear you too in stillness.
Vincent says all good. Hearing clear. All right. Well, I'm good. That's great. What you guys think about our YouTube snapshot? I thought that was marvelous.
That's a deal.
Yeah, they sent us that snapshot this week and told us all about it, and I think it's great. We did good. I mean, I'm sure there are people who did a lot better, but that was pretty good for us because we hadn't put a whole lot of effort into it, and we've got a total of 255 subscribers.
That's good.
And it's just
marvelous.
We
don't always see them or hear from them, but the records show that there are some people.
7,765 total views.
Gosh.
Yeah.
7,000.
So we
no way we could have got that many in that little building we used to be in.
Absolutely not. You wouldn't have had Canada and the United Kingdom watching you either.
That's right. So that tells me right there, regardless of whether we get a brick and mortar again, we will continue with this as long as we can.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this will ever stop.
No.
Based on, well, I won't say it ever stop, but I don't think we'll stop it for anything else just to go into a building. Even if we ever went into a building, we'd still want to do this. Anyway, thank you, Pastor Norman. He said, awesome. Also, Pastor Norman, I know that you saw that we were going to be not doing the impromptus from here through the holidays. We're not going to do it. Thank you, Sissy. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think, and as it said, it wouldn't have been possible without you guys. You guys are the reason we were able to do all of that, and your support for us and your continued watching and everything is important. And the fact that there were 896 total likes. And that's why I said, hit the like button, because YouTube is watching us and watching to see how many people are actually involved. And that pushes us up in what they call the algorithm. And they actually push your video up. So when people are searching different content, your videos come up quicker. Your channel comes up quicker. So it's very, very important. In fact, you can hit the like button anytime. You don't have to wait till I say it. You can just hit it anytime.
Mhm.
And you can do it if you're on the TV. You can still hit the like button. We watch YouTube on TV all the time
Mhm, mhm,
and hit the like button on that. So, and you can subscribe while you're watching TV as
Mhm.
well, can't you?
mhm.
Now, we don't do much on the phone, but
No, I don't want to.
sure don't. We would prefer having a flip phone. In fact, I need a new phone right now.
Yeah,
But
it would be good for emergencies.
yeah, but anyway, all of that's not important right now. What is important right now is that we center in, and that's what we're going to do. So let's do that. I want you to get quiet if you aren't quiet, and get still if you aren't still. And let's go in. We'll go in so we won't do without. Okay? And this is the embodiment of light. And you can say this with me, repeat it after me, or you can just simply listen, whichever is easiest for you. So let everything go. Let your concerns about the day, concerns about anything futuristic, uh, anything that's happening right now, even if it's some current pain in your body, you can just allow that to be right now without wanting something to change immediately, and take your attention away from it. Okay? So here we go. From this place of calm, I see my God self.
Mhm.
I see a new image of myself in the world. My focus is on God, the God essence within me, and I follow its guidance. I trust myself. The self that I am is strong, courageous, and wise. I carry this sense of knowing with me into the world. Because I trust and focus on the God self within, I am creating on the outside a world that is harmonious and beneficial to myself and others. I am having deeper relationships. I am learning how to deal with people. I am managing my money, allowing and attracting my good to manifest. I'm building a career that serves others. And I'm taking good care of my body and everything else around me. I'm able to be in the world and enjoy myself, yet keep my commitment to the God essence within. This commitment is reflected in the light and power that I feel. I am the light of the world. And so it is. And so it is. So it is. Welcome, Carolyn. Welcome, Virginia.
Okay.
Welcome, Sister Sharon. All right. You got something on your plate tonight?
No, I just looking over some of the every identity self,
The every identity self?
the every identity self
What
of
is
the
that?
Christ identity. The every identity self would be like the prodigal son who left home, left his brothers and his father,
Mm-hmm.
and went out and did things that was not in the nature of the father's home.
Mm-hmm.
He did his thing out in the what we call in the world, but the kingdom of the Father and what the Father had imparted into him did not ever leave him.
Okay. Yeah.
His mind, feelings, and physical flesh meat suit did its thing, but it could not remove the eternal essence of the Father from him. The brothers may have said some things, and we do say things about ourselves. You're not saved no more. No,
I don't think I've had that question come in a long time.
I've had it. I met a guy in the drugstore yesterday who was
Was he trying to get you saved?
he was trying to let me know that salvation was for me and for the other guy and everybody. So he wanted to tell everybody, or tell me especially, that his wife and some other, his father, they finally got saved.
Well, I had somebody to do me like that during Thanksgiving when I was getting my last minute grocery shopping done. And he came up. He was trying to witness to me and get me saved at the same time he was flirting.
How can you tell when one is flirting that you're still talking about the book?
Oh, you can just tell. You can just tell.
Now, in Peter's case in the book, Jesus told him that he was going to deny him so many times, and then somebody said, "I can tell by your speech that you've been around this Christ, and your speech betray
It
you."
gives you away. Yeah. It
Now,
gives you away.
here is the key to discernment. It is not seeing evil or good.
Yeah.
All right, now here we go. We're going to bite off a big chunk here. You can catch the smell and the fragrance of the true self coming through everyday conversation.
Yeah.
Or it can be like this. They don't have to say a word, but because you are awake enough to know the truth of the eternalness in every being, you can see, hear, smell, and know just by standing by them, around them. To give you an example, I got my Santa Claus hat, but I wear it when I go out. Everybody recognize me because I wear the suit.
Yeah.
No, why not the suit, but the clothes like I got on with the hat.
Yeah, like we went at the audiologist last week, and the girl who is a receptionist, she said, "Do you always wear red?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Most of the time."
Yeah.
I said, "I see red every day."
Now, that was the time when I wore suits every day. That was a time when I didn't do anything around the house without a suit and shirt, tie.
Well, yeah, you
stuff,
stayed in preacher mode.
In that preacher
pastor mode, yeah.
But now, when I go out, the lady said, "I like your outfit." I said, "No, this is not an outfit." I said,
"That's your everyday clothes."
This everyday 24/7. I said, "I'm not wearing this because I look like Santa Claus." And they say, I said, "No." Then she really realized that the presence was. She looked at the beard and she don't know I like the beard, but I don't. I wear it. I don't shave.
Yeah, well, a lot of people think that you tried to look like Santa Claus, but you had a beard most of your life.
Most of my life.
It turned white.
Yeah.
And you always did like those little bitty glasses.
Yeah, always did.
And then when you got heavier, your cheeks got rosy and your belly got round.
Ooh.
And you just started looking like Santa Claus.
You don't look at me. I'm a married man. You never look at me like that. You trying to make passes at me right here in front of everybody?
No, I'm not making passes.
Well, you can. Go ahead.
Anyway.
Ooh.
Vincent says that's really good. They could see and hear the nature of Christ, so then they were awake too.
I like it when we used to go knock on people's door. That's the same thing this guy was doing, was knocking on my door. And one guy told you guys heard me say about it. He came to the door. He said, "I'm in the neighborhood and we checking to see how much energy you guys use as for power." I said, "Energy?" He said, "Yes, we're making a survey." And so I stood there and looked at him and I said, his presence and his tonnage revealed him. I said, you're not here to talk to me about energy and the
Mhm,
percentage that we
mhm,
use. I
mhm,
said, you're using this as a cloaking device to knock on people's door so you can ask them, do they know Jesus Christ as their Savior? But I
mhm.
told him, I said, you didn't go all the way with this thing. I said, because you don't know if I wanted to use this at the time. You're speaking to a pastor of a church now.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
yeah.
when I said that, he backed off. But I would rather talk to him about what I see, hear, and smell of fragrance of his presence by saying something like casually, "Good afternoon, hello."
You
You
want to
know,
see, you want to know him,
yeah,
not
yeah.
what he believes.
I I didn't know. Now listen to this. I didn't know at the time. I wanted to hear the Christ identity and speak in his voice, in his tone, in his
You were
flavor, and
listening
his
to hear that.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
listening to
he,
hear that.
the only way he felt that he could introduce Jesus was
What's by,
asking me a
yeah,
question. What I'm saying.
yeah. And
I see people all the time.
unfortunately that's the way a lot of Christians think. And thank God it's not as prevalent as it used to be,
Yeah,
but it is. And unfortunately, that's the way most Christians think.
I walked in the UPS place today, and I was holding the big box, and I finally got a break. I said, "Boy, I'm so glad this a heavy box." I said, "I can't hardly get it up on the counter," and they picked up a little light thing. And I said, "I just left from my gynecologist, and she told me not to be lifting these heavy boxes
Mm.
because I'm 10 months gone, and I need to go ahead on and get this baby out of me." Now
A
I'm
baby you've
kidding.
been carrying for
I've been
about 3 or 4 years.
yeah, I've been carrying a long time.
Mm.
The baby that I'm carrying on with the fun. You okay? And but in that, I got them to smile, to laugh, and the people behind me was laughing. And I said, "Don't look for me to come down the chimney." I said, "I'll knock on the door, or if I want to, I'll just come on in." And I said, "When I get to the tree, don't put no chocolate chip, soft batch up under there. Give me some black eyed peas. Well, I don't like black eyed
You don't
peas.
like black eyed peas.
Pinto, pork and beans, and things
Mm.
like that. String bean, green beans, they
So
call
you
them.
wanted a whole soul food dinner.
Yeah, I don't want that chocolate chip stuff. That's out. And I said, besides, I ain't coming up on your roof no more. I ain't going up there. I said, I just come
You
on
know,
through the
when we
front
were
door.
kids, my mom and dad played the Santa Claus part really, really. I mean, they played it to a T. A
Hmm.
lot of kids, would find their toys or whatever. We never found ours. And we didn't know until we became adults where they
Hmm.
used to keep
Hmm.
them. And so mom and dad would really play the part. They would actually bake cookies or get cookies, put them out
Hmm.
with a glass of milk,
Oh,
and
that's
one of
right.
them would eat that before we got up the next morning.
Oh, wow.
They did. They played it to the to the hill to the
That's
hill.
pretty. I think it's pretty.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like the Santa Claus year. So that presence of clear seeing is called discernment.
It's Christmas to me is not so much a time of getting
Hmm.
something or even giving something. I think the gift of having people who love you and that you love is really what Christmas is about,
Hmm. Hmm.
and appreciating that, um,
So he said
having that in your
the
life.
speech betrayed. Now I have been around a lot of Christians that would actually be talking and they would about cuss everything out. And then I found out how not to react to. I picked this up in the moonshine house where I was raised. They would say anything. Of course, during that time when we little, if you guys understand that the older ones didn't allow children in the kitchen around when
Yeah,
grown folks are talking.
yeah.
And then somebody would come in there and say something, and they say, "Be watch your mouth." I'd be sitting at the table eating, trying my best to not get up, but stay there and take my time. And I want to hear grown folks talking,
Mm.
and they really wasn't grown folks. They were just thinking that they were grown folks because they could say things that children shouldn't hear. But I still heard them because in a three-room house, you in the middle bedroom, everything they say is right there in the kitchen and right next night between you and the bathroom and the kitchen right there. You can still hear it, even if you're sitting in the front room watching television.
Mhm.
But I'm just saying this to you that the investigation into the true identity is one of the most relaxed, easy going, um, not difficult to approach, and it does not invade people's territory in the sense of trying to convince them that if you are saved, they need to be. And I told somebody in a barber shop one time, I said, uh, I ain't been to church in a while during the time I was at the building. And they were talking, and yeah, you know, you need to go. I said, go to church. I said, everybody don't want to join your club.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
when I said
Right.
that, I just talk to them just like I do everybody.
But you know, a lot
I
of
don't shop at Sears. I don't
Mm-hmm.
shop at certain store.
Mm-hmm.
And because you do, I'm not going to disqualify you from being a shopper.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
You got a horsepower in the horses. Now we got horsepower in machines.
Right.
So my
Right.
point is that let's relax a little bit.
I got a scripture I want to read, if
Yeah,
you
go
don't
right ahead.
mind. It's in Proverbs 27 and 19. It's a kind of an odd scripture in the
Mhm.
sense that, well, I just read it and then you can go with it after you've heard it. It's in the 19th verse. It says, "As in water, face answers to face, so the heart of man to man."
Read that again.
As in water, face answers to face,
Okay.
so the heart of man to man.
Wow. Okay, I see it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The heart
And he
speaks.
used the water because that was the only mirror that they had. They didn't
Yes,
have, so you could
yes.
see your face. And so as he said, as in water, face answers to face. He said, so the
Mhm.
heart of man to man. So your heart is speaking to yourself.
Oh yeah.
Your heart is speaking to you.
You know what I like? This is a program to come on where this millionaire owned a certain business, and he disguised himself as somebody looking for a job.
Yeah, it's different ones.
And
Yes.
in order to evaluate his staff
Mm-hmm.
and the people that worked for him.
And yeah, and then at the end, he gives those that really have been committed to the
I love
job.
it. I just
He
love
gives
it.
them
Oh
gifts
God,
and
do I?
helps
I
them.
love
Yes.
that. I just
Yes.
love it.
Yes.
I haven't found any films or movies on television that would spark inside of us like it used to be with Christmas. That would
Yeah,
spark
the-
inside
the-
of you and me the truth behind
What
Christmas.
Christmas is.
Yeah,
Yes.
and 24/7 Christmas.
The older movies tend to
Yeah.
bring you to that.
Yeah.
Now, Norman is mentioning that's a mirror reflection, and the reason I read it is because we often think of God speaking to us separate, and God is a separate entity speaking to us. But here it's talking about you, your own heart speaking to you. So it's your divine self, it's your higher self speaking to your smaller self, your conditioned self, your constructed self. It's speaking to that human self, and your heart is speaking, and that's where all of your wisdom comes from. There, that is the God essence that's in you.
Listen to this. The move of God in us, as us, is God's movie.
Yeah.
We are the
Yeah.
movie,
Yeah.
the life.
Mhm.
The life of God is a movie in this world of everything that we do. That movie does not ever stop, even though we leave the theater seat, which is the meat body. The meat body is the theater seats and the curtains around us. Curtains around us, spirit, seated in rest, watching the movie. The movie is being watched by God. The theater is made by God, and the characters on the screen is of God. So we sit there without judgment, but judgment come up in the mind to tell you that it is not real. We don't have any problem with what is real and what is not. We now come to the place of rest to know that God is the entire movie
God is
theater
all of it. Yes.
and the script.
All of it. Yes. And Linda says, your world is a reflection of your heart. And it
Yes.
is. It
Yes.
truly is. And then Vincent came across saying the art of seeing yourself and others, the law of human nature, the nature of Christ. Just this week, well, not this week, but maybe for a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, I've been, and I shared it with Pastor Norman and on the impromptu last week.
Mhm.
I'm coming into a new seeing and understanding about my body, and now I'm beginning to understand. Not only is this, but it started when we started talking about the meat suit.
Yeah, meat suit.
This
Yeah.
is a meat suit,
Mhm.
and it also started when we started talking about the complexity of this machinery, this human machinery,
Mhm.
and how that it has to have fuel to continue, and it has to have certain maintenance things done to it to have it continue for as long as you need it to continue. And so having that mindset, just this week, in fact, just this morning while walking, I developed an inner knowing of having a relationship with my body and a
Mhm.
relationship with my mind.
Mhm.
It's totally different than believing that I am a body
Mhm.
and believing that I am this mind.
Mhm.
Totally different. I'll give you an example. When I have a relationship with this body, I started walking, and of course, when it was cold and my body wasn't warmed up yet, and I didn't have a lot of energy, hadn't eaten anything, just kind of got out there with me and baby girl, and we took our walk. We'd always walk very long in the morning,
Mhm.
and while walking, I heard my body, and this is coming from discernment again.
Mhm.
I heard my body complaining about it didn't have energy,
Mhm.
and it didn't say it necessarily. It was just a thought was going through it.
Mhm.
I don't have the energy, and my knees hurt, and all of
Mhm.
this stuff.
Mhm.
And then the dawning of having a relationship with my body took place, and I said to it internally,
Mhm.
no, this is going to be good for you
Mhm.
because you need to move, and the moving is going to warm you up and it's going to give you energy.
Mhm.
I spoke to it as if it wasn't me, because it wasn't me.
I understand.
I'm wearing it,
Mhm.
and as the manager of it.
Okay.
And then I heard the mind came into the whole interaction,
Mhm.
and the mind said, yeah, but if you keep walking, them knees gonna get worse.
Mhm.
And I said, you can just come along with us, you don't have to add your comment.
Mhm.
And I had a relationship with my mind then, because I was not identifying myself as my mind,
Mhm.
nor was I identifying myself as my body. And that inner self that we know as God's self, was actually managing the mind and the body.
Wow. Wow.
And I had that experience this morning. So I'm realizing now that I am neither, but I manage both.
I didn't go in the closet one day this week. I couldn't quite understand why, but I deliberately yielded to not going in there. But this morning, I had to go in there twice. There was no going in there because I'm being condemned or judged and all that.
Right. No have to.
No have to. But I went in there, and the reason why I went in there the second last night twice, in my sleep, no sooner than I did hit that place and hit the switch inside, I was instantly standing in front of a congregation of people. This could be conditioned self after 30, 40 years of doing this stuff.
Yeah, could
And
be.
and all of a sudden, in 3 dimensions, I'm standing there, I'm looking at them, and I'm aware of the whole service. And one of our members from High Point, North Carolina, Miss Phyllis, I looked to my left, and Miss Phyllis was standing there, And I said, well, Miss Phyllis, look at you. I see you. I hadn't seen you in a while. And this is spirit now.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody didn't look spirit. They were physical spirit,
Mm-hmm.
tangible, perceivable to the five senses
Mm-hmm.
or other
Mm-hmm.
senses that we have beyond the five. And I said, Miss Phyllis, it's good to see you. And I was in the pulpit and I personally ministered to her. She said, I brought somebody with me. I said, you did? And who she brought with her was from one end of that building on the left to my right, on my right hand, was light beings as physical spirit. I looked at her, Miss Phyllis say, I bought somebody with me.
A ball.
I bought somebody. She said, I
Did
brought.
she pay for them?
Yeah, she brought. Yeah, she paid for them. She said, I brought somebody with me. And I looked, and the whole, it wasn't the first row, it was the second row, all the way across that huge sanctuary were all light beings. And here's what they said to me. They said, again, it is not over. We are here to let you know that we wanted to hear you, see you, and become more aware that we have always been with you in the world of day oneness and to the world of seeming to be in. But they told me, said, there's no beginning into us. And they was the most happiest light beings in the physical realm. And out of that, I also saw some at the congregation went further back to the door entrance. Some light beings don't shine as bright as others.
And I think that's because there's a lot of conditionings
Yes.
that
Yes.
veils or cloaks that we truly are.
They are more meat suit consciousness.
They're more identified with their bodies and their minds.
Now, the walk of the spirit is what I saw when I read where Peter's speech betrayed. They asked the question, you seem like you was with this Jesus man.
His speech
And he
gave him
denied it.
away. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they could tell, and you know what? Let me say this to you. The speech that they were talking about was not Peter saying, you know, back in Genesis, and back over there, and Moses crossed the Red Sea, and you know, I got part of the scroll at the house, and I read every night. I have scroll study, and I read my old Hebrew, Greek translation from the Old Testament. No. They could tell by even people that didn't go along with Jesus, but they had been around him and they heard about him. And that flavor, here's what I wrote in my note when I said that. The bottom line is divine department of ointment.
Department of ointment.
The divine department of eye salve, healing salve.
Can you break that down a little bit?
In other words, each one of us carry a degree of oil, or you might say oral manifestations of the fragrance temperament of the Christ consciousness, more or less depending on how you are grafted into waking up to this kind of talk. This kind of talk is, I don't go out and tell everybody, but these things, but I look at some people and I say, pardon me, please, sir, ma'am, I had a chance to see Jesus in person. And when I saw him, your eyes were the actual color of his. Now, the eyes may be blue, maybe brown, maybe purple, gray, whatever.
Because his are all of those.
He is our eyes. Yeah. There's a book, there's, oh boy, oh God, there we go. I done went to popping. Let me tell you something. It is the most awesome thing to understand the mysteries of what we're talking about. That is the Christ consciousness expressing itself through, not through proving that you know something, but finding a reason to bypass impasses around people and say, hello, it's good to see you. Good morning. And that's what I found in the drugstore, in the grocery store. I go to the grocery store, and I don't do it much now. I go to the grocery store and go around places in there, and I look at people to look at them and see through them, not for looking for what's wrong with them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do they smell? Guy knocked on the door the other morning, waited. Now he run the doorbell. Before I could get to the door, he's gone. I kind of got a glimpse of him, my next door neighbor. Then he came back and did it again.
We've always this. Let me give you a description of this guy so that you will get the full impact of what Pastor is about to say. He lives in a neighborhood below our neighborhood, and is one of those kinds of people who likes to do odd jobs and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that to just make it. And I think he held a steady job, but not for long, and had trouble getting along with people and all of this. And he wears these athletic socks, white socks that come all the way up to the knee
Mm-hmm.
with shorts during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started calling him Bobby Socks. That was my name for him so that we two would know who he was, because I don't
Mhm.
remember his real name. He would actually come to the door, come here to knock on our door to see if we had odd jobs that he would do.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we would give him something to do.
Mm-hmm.
And for a while, he was pretty regular. And then after a while, he got tired of coming, I think, and he got tied up with something else. And when he was missing for quite a while, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And wasn't even living behind us
That's right.
in the neighborhood behind us anymore. But he just recently returned
Mm-hmm.
to his former residence.
Mhm.
And he's been coming to the door, and we've been kind of avoiding him. I know it's not good to say, but we've been kind of avoiding him because he's kind of a pest.
Yeah.
We tolerate him, but we didn't want to give him any more odd jobs, and then we didn't have anything really for him to do. So anyway, we didn't really answer the door as quickly, so he would leave before we got to the door. And he's done it a couple of times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then just recently, just the other day, he came and rang the doorbell. And I was upstairs, and you decided to go to the door this
Mhm,
time.
mhm.
And you opened the
Baby
door,
girl barking.
and now you can tell him what the rest was.
He rang the doorbell, and I got to him. He stood there shaking, crying in his face. His face was distorted. Now I looked at him from a distance from the street. He is sick.
But you said this the other day before you ever saw him physically
Mm-hmm.
up close,
Mm-hmm.
and you said he's just sick.
There's
And
something wrong.
you were thinking about the way he responds to
Yeah,
life
yeah.
and all of
Mhm.
this. So this is what, and so we agreed. Yes, he's just got some issues going on.
He,
But now we know he really is sick
Mhm.
physically as well.
Mhm.
So go ahead.
He wants to come. I think he wants to pull up on my eternal umbilical cord, and he is, but he don't
Yeah.
understand how he's doing.
But
he
he was,
said, "Papa." He
Yeah,
called me Papa.
yeah.
He said, "I wanted to find out what was wrong." He said, "I've been here 2 or 3 times, and you didn't answer the door." He said, "I don't want anything to happen to you or to y'all." And he was crying. He turned around and walked off. And I said, "Well, wait a minute, what's going on?" He said, I just want to let you know that you can't leave us now. You got to stay." And he's talking about himself as well as me knowing. And I said,
Yeah,
"Well, wait a minute.
yeah,
Thank you for that."
Yeah.
One time I told him while he was doing some work for us out in the yard, I said, "I got some change in my console in my Jeep." I said, at a certain time, I said, I want to get it and give it to you. But he didn't wait for me.
Right. We
And-
think
and
we're not
see,
sure, but we
yeah.
think you
But
didn't lock the
I
Jeep.
didn't. I hadn't told
and
anybody else in the neighborhood
we
about
think
what
that he
my
may have
console
gotten it, yeah.
had in it.
already.
I forgot to lock the door, and I went back out there, and somebody went in through the glove compartment, and then somebody went in that tray. And I knew it wasn't nobody but him.
Probably him.
But I was going to tell him, "Look," I said, "Remember the last time I told you about the change I had there? I got up one morning and forgot I left my door unlocked to the Jeep." And I said, "Somebody went in there and took it." I said, and I was going to tell him, I was going to tell him, "Look, I got a camera and it took a picture of the one who did it.
But I said this. We're bringing this up only because Vincent mentioned a minute ago about seeing Christ and seeing the nature of Christ, and so when we our previous or prior interacting with him had it wasn't judgmental, but we had an opinion of him, which I guess is judgmental. And that opinion, while we weren't condemning him, we were just tolerating him. Now, because of the way he's responded, it's completely changed how we look at him.
I would not bring him into my house here because
You don't feel comfortable
I
doing
don't feel
that,
comfortable.
right?
But we have now. Once in a while, I'll stop.
But I felt my heart soften toward him. I did.
Haven't had anybody in the neighborhood to ever say that, ever do that. Never, ever.
And so I thank God.
Is.
I thank God for that happening, so that our hearts would soften toward him. And it helps you to see Christ in others when your heart softens toward them. That's what I really wanted to say. Once your heart softens toward them, it's easy to see Christ there.
In our younger days, we always told each other, I'm going to seek God. I want him to use me. No, those days don't exist anymore. God don't want to use anybody. He is everybody that is usable toward love.
And I have to say this too about this young man, and who is not really a young man, but I just say it that way. He's the kind of person who would be very difficult to have a close relationship with. Very confrontational, very proud, has had some serious violence in his past, for which he had to go to jail. And there are a lot of issues. So our minds were colored by all of that. Then when he came and expressed the emotions that he did of just wanting to see how we were, it changed my feelings toward him. It changed the way I see him. And it gave it, and I realized that whatever's happening to him, it's forcing him into his heart.
Deaf to the doing self, automatically, as you move into this awareness that you are and always have been, the mind will put up a fight and it'll say, you can't get rid of me. I am you. And if you do, you're going to lose your mind. I would say to the mind, good. Oh, I want to lose you into my heart.
Yeah. Yes.
There's somebody over here looking. That's called baby girl.
Yeah.
Baby girl went today and got her.
She got her hair done.
And
she got a bath this morning. I gave her a bath.
She
gave me a bath.
Yeah, she's going on a date. She got a boyfriend somewhere. Had a little bitty puppy in the look right here. Now she come over here, wants to talk to me. I'm talking. You smell good,
but don't get distracted with baby girl.
Anyway, this is all that we're doing with you in this arena. Is showing you how relaxed. Here comes showing how relaxed you are being a Christ.
And not only that, I think that what the whole theme of what we're talking about tonight is that life is set up to open your heart.
Yes.
And the things that you endure, the things that you encounter and you go through will either open your heart, force you into your heart, or will make you bitter. And I want to encourage you, whatever you're going through, whatever you have been through, allow it to run you to your heart so that your heart will speak to you.
Run your attention to the heart. The red, yellow, orange, gold, and blue fire that I saw around Jesus' heart years ago, the image of that has never, ever, ever left my, it cut gray matters, cut valleys of the neurons, electrons into the brain, and they are every time, every day, they spark and ignite themselves in the memory of Him being the heart of every man in the universe. There's a part
So
of
not only are we the light of the world, we are the heart of this world.
yeah.
If
Yeah.
without us, there would be no heart in this world, would it?
No,
There
that's
would
right.
be no
That's
heart
right.
in this world.
That's
There
right.
would be no love in this world
That's
without
right.
us.
That love that the clue is the love of Christ permeates every man's being, whether he is aware of it or not, whether he goes to church or not,
Yeah.
whether he is
Yeah.
old or young, mean, Scroogey, old Mr. Scroogey, like Christmas or not. There are some people take the Bible and beat people over the head about about Christmas.
What are you doing?
And they develop a doctrine that Christmas is of the devil. Well, I would say to them, sweetheart, darlings, if you drive your car, I'm sure you have to look at the yellow, the green, and the red lights on your stoplight. Okay, so that is a tree. Now, when I went to the city
A
one time,
tree.
there is a tree of lights.
Okay.
A three, red, yellow.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
The green, that hanging up in those wires is just like the lights hanging on a Christmas tree.
Okay.
You can take the part of the devil away out of you can put the devil in the Christmas tree, but you forget the Christmas tree with the lights on is no different than a stoplight with wire hanging up in front of
The light is a light.
a light, and it's
Yes,
different
yes.
colors.
Yeah.
Relax a little bit, because all it's doing is telling you, if you have problem with these lights, look at the light-heartedness of Jesus. Now, there are some people I heard say, I don't believe in God. Well, why did you mention the word God then? I don't believe in Jesus. Jesus said, Muhammad and all them other boys, that's who I believe in. Let me tell you something, what I found out in heaven. In the heaven, the kingdom of heaven and the kingdom of God. All of these people that you say are priests and sages that were once upon a time and great inventors in the earth. I had a chance to witness the Hall of Record and all of the thousands of people meet beings, I call people, but beings, like beings, meet with Jesus 24/7 earthly time. And they are in constant, what do you call it, session. They stay in sessions 24/7. I saw Jesus walk down through the hall of eternity, and every light being that was on the earth and around is a living energy of God, and they wave at Jesus as he passed by them. And every one of them on those pictures on the hall of eternity wall, every one of them are living words of God.
Yes.
I like this stuff.
Yes.
It's so real.
Yes.
And I if you want to see him, you can. If you want to see Christ, you can. Some people don't work so hard to not see him that when he does
It's
appear,
just the opening of your heart.
that's all it
That's
is.
all it is. That's all it is.
Open your heart and see him in everything.
And allow yourself to feel soft. I know that it's hard when you're involved with people in the world every day, and you go out into deal and interact with different ones, and it can cause you to become hard when you think about how much challenge they give you. But then to remember, just like we did with Bobby Socks, that they have issues that they're dealing with, and what you're encountering when you meet them are their issues.
Yeah.
And but there is a person, there is a being down under those issues
Mhm.
that is worthy of the love.
Now we are here at this point again to say to you, you are ready to see Christ 24/7.
24/7. Yes, you are.
And you will see him because he's ready to be seen. He is ready to wake up through you, in you, and by you
Mhm,
to himself,
mhm, mhm.
his true, real Christ essence. Now we're ready to move on into the house of God and see new things take place in seeing the light beings and all the helpers that agree that love is the only thing that can lift you. Love lifted me when nothing else would help. Love lifted me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, you guys. Look, I want to remind you that our Christmas service will be on the Christmas Eve, and that will be at 7:30. That's on that Saturday, because Sunday is on a Christmas. I mean, Christmas is on a Sunday, and we don't want to take you away from your families or whatever. So we want to do it on that night before the Christmas, on Christmas Eve, and hopefully you'll be through with all your shopping and whatever, and you can sit down. You'll be tired enough to sit there and listen to us. So it'll be at 7:30 on Christmas Eve. Also, we will not be having any impromptus until after Christmas, and after, well, actually after
New Year's.
New Year's.
Mhm.
Yes, after New Year's. Yes, and I will make sure that I post it again on Facebook and on YouTube so that you guys will be reminded. And every time we talk to you, we will be back. We will be back
B.
on Sunday at 10,
Yep.
and we'll be back next Tuesday.
One
at
of the
7.
things I was shown and seeing my Christ reflect standing in front of me is Jesus was what you call soft gazing me, and he soft gazed with a tenderness.
Yeah.
And I thought when he said, "Oh, a little tenderness," Otis Redding used to sing that song, "Oh, a little tenderness," you know.
Yes, you did.
And, oh, I
You
may
got
be
the old
weary.
songs
I may be weary.
Yeah, don't sing that one. Don't sing that one. Don't
This
sing that one.
is the love that you are at your center.
And for those of you all, you guys who didn't see this, this was our YouTube snapshot for 2022. We had 7,765 total views, 183,400 total minutes that you watched, 196 total likes that you gave us. 25 of you became new subscribers. So we've got 255 total subscribers.
Wow.
And the top countries that are viewing our channel is United States, Canada, and United Kingdom. And they said that we were now boss stage.
Oh, really?
In the final boss stage. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
we give you the love that you already are. We send the love that you already are. And we thank the love that you are for receiving and responding back to us with love and giving to us as open hearts normally do.
Thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you so much for not just financially supporting us, but even your coming to view us.
Yeah.
And make sure that you hit the like button.
Yeah,
we need you to
do.
hit that like button right now. If you have the capability of doing that, please hit the like button right now. And if you haven't subscribed to YouTube, go ahead and do that. Thank you, Jill, for posting all of that about giving for us tonight. Thank you so much. She always remembers it. I never do. And thank you too. We love you too, Vincent Kelly.
We love you. We love you. And we can say it feeling good or bad, happy or not, because we know the love of God reaches beyond the five senses.
It does.
And the pain body.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It's so wonderful.
Saying establish the identity of Christ in the earth.
That's it.
That's it.
That is our motto. We're establishing the identity of Christ.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Adios, amigos.
See you next time. Be safe. Stay in the middle road. Tie it down on the right side and the left side and work it.
And work it.
All right.